Hello there. I'm X or Zav, as most of you should know me by now if you're watching this documentary, and I'm thrilled to be here today to take you on the behind the scenes of creation of my second album, Music 2. It is truly just like a reflection of everything that I've been through over the past couple months. That's what we're going to be talking about. That's what we're going to be diving into, taking a deep dive under to talk about. And yeah, before crafting this album, I did have a few experiences that definitely changed my perspective on the way that I share myself with people and on the way that I talk to people about different things and subjects. But I did find the strength to come back, overcome those situations, and just be here because I'm here right now today explaining to you what the album was about. And it really does hold a special place in my heart. It really just influenced everything that is to come in the future. And I did channel a lot of emotions, a range of different emotions into the work that I created. Um, a lot of it being hatred and just pure rage that I channeled into voice, especially with tracks like Difference and Animal.
I may be a little bit out of control, but don't treat me like I'm a late anymore.
And Disrespectful.
You gotta be disrespectful, he'll be so disrespectful, but when I am so successful, say whoa.
Those are three of the hardest hitting songs on the album, in my opinion. And yeah, it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to discover. Welcome to my creative haven. For the past 3 years, it has been the birthplace of all my music. From the raw demos to all the collaboration offers, from recording sessions to the finalizing tracks, this is mine. This microphone and this computer and this desk and this chair have basically been my best friends for 3 years. And as I mentioned earlier, Music 2 delves deep into the challenges of which I faced with myself and with other people. The album's focus revolves around emotions such as hate, scorn, understanding, painting, drowning, suffering, and loss. You'd notice this underlying theme of the entire album if you listened to half the album or even glanced at some of the song titles, okay? Because it kind of gives you a hint at what emotion I'm trying to convey. And compared to my first album, these songs marked a significant, departure from what I was doing prior. Because each song, it just reflects my growth in songwriting. It's just the style, context, and the meaning of each song, instead of just being these ridiculous lovey-dovey songs that have no real meaning to me. These songs actually came straight out of my heart to share. And each track holds a personal significance, a pivotal stepping stone towards what lies ahead for the future. And this album really helped me find my range and refine my work ethic. While the lyrics obviously remain broad, non-specific, and not, exactly targeted at one specific person, they are woven from own experiences and connections to past events. And so the inspiration for this album, there's a lot on this list. But I'm only gonna say a few. 2004's Damita Jo. Discipline. Invincible, Michael Jackson, 2001. Red Pill Blues, 2017, Maroon 5. The Sweet Escape, 2006, Gwen Stefani. And we have I Look to You, which was 2009, Whitney Houston. Seal IV, 2003, Seal.
We got to keep this world together. Got to keep it moving straight.
And tons of other ones. And so these albums really guided my thinking, influencing both the raw intensity on of tracks like Threatened on Invincible. You should be watching me. You should feel and You Wanna Be Me on Music Too.
Baby, I know you just wanna be me. Baby, you know what happens too. All I know is it will bother.
As well as the Melflower tones of Love's Divine on Seal IV.
Love's Divine.
That Echo and Understandings.
Be understanding within your heart, finding my purpose.
Oh my gosh, crazy. And uplifting tracks like Nothing But Love.
Nothing but love. There's been haters since this world been going round.
And $1 Million Bill on I Look to You, Reverberate, and Giving Up on You. And Still in Love on Music Too. Acapella, okay. 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 That's the range. That's the range that we're going for. Okay. So I'm gonna sing it for you. I like the way you move. It's so trivial. I like the way you move. It's so trivial. I don't have to move. Yeah, we're dancing all night long because I said I like the way you move. It's something along the lines of that. This is all mentally. It's not written down anywhere yet. Throughout the process of creating this album, I did face some really hard moments that were a lot to swallow, but I got through it because I am here right now. And initially, Music 2 was supposed to be a summary, more advanced version of Music 1, and a very pop vibe to match its summer release of June that I had already planned. But everything changed a lot. It changed so much between December from when I released Music 1 to the time that the album was released. Literally so much changed. I tried to change a few thousand things the last day before I released the album. And so yeah, during this time, I was part of a Discord community that I have now since rejoined, where there, like in any group, real life or online, there were supportive and non-supportive people, constructive criticism and unconstructive criticism that were coming from every corner, every direction, everywhere. And unfortunately, there were instances of a lot of things that happened to me, such as hurtful comments and fat shaming. Yes, fat shaming. And one person I know who repeatedly compared me to the cartoon character Cleveland Brown Jr. Initially in a joking manner, but of course, after a while, it started to turn from harmless fun into relentless and just rude. Every message that I sent or every time that I talked, I was met with an image of my head put on top of Cleveland's body. And after that, even while that whole thing was going on, after that, I still discovered that there was like a group of 3 to 5 individuals who would gather in voice chats and in private group chats to discuss, ridicule, and mock me, my music, all of that stuff. And quickly, let me just clear the air a little bit. If you are unable to do half or better than what I do, then you don't have a right or a reason to judge me or anything that I do. It's not your place to. You really just don't have the leverage to do that. But if you can, I'll be willing to accept it. I'll be willing to give you the credit that you deserve for it. And maybe even take a few hints from you. But if you can't or you just don't want to, that's not my fault. But you don't have a place to judge. And as these situations escalated, they did have an impact on my self-perception and my ability to do anything at the time. For months, I was hesitant to just do the one thing that I literally have devoted all this time to doing, singing. So for months, the Music 2 album was literally just sitting there inside of my library. All the songs that I had already written were all just sitting there inside of this catalog that I have, not doing anything, not going anywhere, not being put into motion. And yet, throughout this whole process, I did learn a ton of things, like how to distance myself, when and how to distance myself from negativity, when to shed unhelpful instances of people, and also how to channel my emotions through my songwriting. And one challenge that I will claim for myself is that I'm an emotionally sensitive person. I take everything seriously until proven otherwise, and some things hurt me a lot more than it would some other people, but this is one thing that I am working towards to fix and to overcome and to become a stronger person from it, to take it all as feedback that I can use to improve myself as a person, as a singer, as a performer, as anything really. And so it all worked out in the end for me. And that really describes the song Understanding on the album. That song really is what pulls together the entire piece. It goes in order. The album was listed exactly in the place of how things went, in the order of everything went. I was still on my high, sugar rush, but it slowly started to depreciate into Animal, where people basically thinking that I was crazy. And from there, it just goes down all the way until Understanding, where it's like, okay, taken this break and I finally understand what I'm doing with myself and where I am, where I stand as a person. I'm still in the drafting period for this chorus. I've been stuck on this chorus. I haven't written anything else. Except for the pre-chorus, because the pre-chorus goes into the chorus, so cause it literally links up. So so it goes pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, then it goes to breakdown. Well, not breakdown, it goes to build up, then it goes to breakdown and back into chorus, and then from there, that chorus is like repeats 3 times over, I think. Full breakdown, the band groove, that's what I call it, the band groove, and that's where it goes, where it drops all the way down to just the bass and works its way back up into the actual chorus. In the creation of Music 2, I set out to craft a style that was enigmatic and introspective, something that really showed my point of view and the complexity of my emotions at the time. The intent is evident from the album cover that was presented for the album. It's where my face remains hidden behind those sunglasses and my mouth is concealed by my fist like this, basically. And while some might describe the cover as basic, it carries a lot more meaning for me. Its creation was far from straightforward, very, very far from it. It really just, I ventured to different locations at different times and days, taking probably more than 80 photos for it. Most of them are gone now. In the end, there are at least 15 different revisions of the actual album cover itself. I have a few of them still, but most of them are gone. And I do hold on to the original one that was in the middle, and then the final copy, of course. Yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, Music 2 delves into a spectrum of emotions, including hate and scorn. My voice, while not at the time not as powerful as I really did want it to be, or as strong hitting as I needed it to be for some of those songs, it wasn't the sole vehicle for conveying those emotions, basically. The instrumentals, they really did pave like a really big pivotal role in it, because take Disrespectful for example. You can hear in the song that I was mad from the lyrics. You can hear it a little bit in my voice with how mad I was. But it's one of those songs where it deeply resonates with the emotion because of the instrumental, the aggressive, hard-hitting drums, and the aggressive guitar that worked together to lay bare how I felt after facing personal attacks. It's just there. It all works together. All the different aspects of the song. You can go from the lyrics all the way down to the instrumental to the one singular instrument. They all work together in harmony to create this one vessel that showcases an emotion. And when I wrapped up Music 2, the departure from Music 1 was really, really powerful and strong. The only compositions that really resemble any similarities, if not almost exactly like Music 1, is Giving Up.
I'm giving up on you. giving up on you.
and Not Afraid of You.
I am not afraid of you, though you want me to. You are so.
Surprisingly, they shared a lot of the same tone because they were written at the same time. They were written around the same time. I believe that Giving Up on You was written before I wrote Not Afraid of You. And yeah, here's a little secret though. I just needed one more song to finish the album to get my 39-minute track listing that I really wanted. So I revisited some old demos, some old songs that I had, and that's when I stumbled upon the original version of Giving Up on You. Okay, I paired it with some old demo instrumental back from January, and with some lyrical tweaks and to match the upbeat tempo, it eventually progressed, and then it ended up as a song on the album and a fan favorite. The original version though was somber, almost trying to emulate the bass emotions of Seal's song Don't Make Me Wait from
But don't make me wait longer.
4, I think, yeah, 4. Alright, but nevertheless, I managed to turn a sad song into a happy one, so we all happy in the end. The M2 tour served as a profound extension of the Music 2 album. The music really just worked its way. It just followed me around and found its place inside of the setlist of the M2 tour, like, effortlessly. And across all 18 shows of the tour, the setlist was kind of went something like this, with a few minor exceptions and changes for some. There's Act 1, which was Animal and Say You Love Me. Act 2, Want Me to Know, Life Without You, Nice Guy and Spinning the Wheel. Act 3, Grateful, Disrespectful, Difference, and You Wanna Be Me. And Act 4 was Giving Up on You, Describe, Understanding, and Still in Love. The setlist did have a few slight rotations during a few shows, with Understanding and Still in Love swapping places every now and again. And then notably, Not Afraid of You made a special appearance, taking the spot of Giving Up on You, replacing it from shows 10 through 16. Crafting this tour took about a month and a half for me. Not that long compared to the planning that goes into some of the other tours out there. With the meticulous process of recreating all of the tracks to have that authentic live band sound, correct? And the set list came together in about 2.5 weeks, I think it was. 2.5 weeks bass flat, and the rest of it I spent rehearsing and practicing. Collaborating with my sound director and my manager, we carefully selected a few songs that, made its way into the set list and worked together. And me and my sound director, we worked to create the new sound font for the tour. And Music 2 was a major element inside of the tour, which rectified the shortcomings of the previous in-between tour in March 2023. Now, the concept of the in-between tour persisted in some elements, and what really happened was we refreshed with some new interludes and integrated into the expansion of the M2 tour. A significant aspect of it was the evolution of my stage outfits, okay? Yes, this is like a really big topic because a lot of people like to say that I just throw on whatever and call it a day. But no, there's a lot of planning for me that goes into the actual outfits that I end up wearing on my concert. But sometimes things just don't work out, don't got the clothes for it. But what did happen was I did grow a little bit, just a tiny little bit more comfortable with my body to be able to experiment, including what was basically a skin tight black suit during Act 2 of the show. But unfortunately, you will never be able to see it because like 99% of the footage of that tour has been corrupted or lost, leaving its legacy mostly word of mouth, so unfortunately. But that's just the way it is, I guess. And originally, a film was planned for the M2 tour, but because of these problems that I just said, like, you know, the corruption of most of the footage, we ended up replacing it with the In-Between tour instead, which is what you guys just recently saw from me. So, yeah. And the main problem with the In-Between tour that I have was the constraints of time. The time constraints that we had, the month that we had to put the show together. The month that I had to put that entire show together. I usually give myself a month and a half to get a tour together or to get a concert show together. And it really forced compromises like the visuals, music quality, equipment, testing, camera setups, outfits, audio control, and the lighting. There was a lot that was supposed to go into the In-Between tour that never made it because of time constraints. We just didn't have enough time to get all of that stuff together to put it into the tour before it had to start. But despite all of these things, the tour provided valuable insights into my artistic direction. It illuminated the path for the December 25th concert that is coming up. And it also kind of inspired some songs for X3. Future plans, including the Harmony of Love concert and the X3 tour, are underway, which emphasize a commitment to my work, my quality of work, and my craftsmanship. The experience reinforced my determination to present concerts that are not only authentic, but treated with the seriousness that I believe they deserve. And in essence, the M2 tour has been a really long journey for me that is a bridge to future projects and connections and things that I'm going to do later on, and an ode to the profound impact that I believe the Music 2 album has had on my career. And without both of those things, I'd probably still be here making outdated 2010s music like on my first album. But I am evolving and I am embracing growth and evolution in my work. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for continuing to watch, and thank you for sticking around. You mean a lot to me, a lot more to me than you may think. And now, it's time to wrap it up and move on to the final section of this documentary, the interview. Thank you.
I never thought a line or something that says do anything would be this hard to say.
It's no matter because we've all been through it before. I've had to go through it, and I'm pretty sure plentiful of other artists have gone through it before. But happy mistakes happen. So just do one final attempt, and I'll see what I can do to fix it around tonight.
Alright, bro. Alright.
With all of the energy and all of the emotion as you can, please. One last attempt.
The world if you want to. We can have the world if you want to. We can go to Paris if you want to. We can have a live if you want to. We can do. Oh, I see what the problem is. I see what the problem is. I see what the problem is.
I see what's the problem is. He's been saying this for the past 30 minutes. Don't believe a word that he says.
We can have the road if you want to. We can go to Paris if you want to. We can have if you want to. We can do anything if you want to. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Okay. One more try, bro. One more try. This is gonna be it. We can go to Paris if you want to. We can have a life if you want to. We can do anything if you want to.
I feel bad for him right now. I'm making him work. I'm making him work.
Try your best with the recording that I gave you.
Okay.
Or-
If you say so. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that you've heard the story about my albums and tours, I'm going to take the time to answer a few questions that fans and the community have had for me. So, number one, what do I try to say through my music? Obviously, it varies per song, but I do try to carry on important messages that have been given to me throughout the years through my music. Number two, when am I releasing new music on Spotify? This is a hot topic. All I can say is soon. I don't know when that soon is, but I know that soon is soon. I promise it's coming. But because of all of the winter delays, all of the holidays that are happening in December, a lot of releases are getting delayed until January next year. So you're just gonna have to wait a couple more weeks, and hopefully by then a few more songs would have been released. It's been a really long process coming for the past couple months, trying to get everything on there, approved and distributed out. And I can assure you that I'm working very hard, very diligently to get this to you as soon as possible. And number three, what do I think of my first album after all the backlash on it? I still appreciate it and love it. That's without a doubt. Without it, I would have never created the person that I am today, or the confidence that I've built for myself the past couple years. Now, I will be the first to admit that I was terrified recording that album, and I was sick, and I was like 95% sick while recording Describe, Dream, Not Afraid of You, and Life Without You. And I did not have enough time to re-record all of the songs in full because I was still sick when the album came out. But I wasn't like as sick as I was when I originally recorded them, but there just wasn't enough time for me to go back and re-record all of those songs again before the finalization release on December 15th. And finally, the big question that everyone has been asking me after hearing who I am on Spotify and whatever, what's next? Now, all that I can say, even though that my new project, codenamed X3 by the community, that I'm not exactly ready to announce yet, has some songs that might just surprise you a little bit. I am working to jump out of my comfort zone, to push the boundaries out the way just a little bit, to make my music sound up to date and modern-ish. Okay, my music is currently right now like it's giving early 2010s. Okay, I don't want that no more. All right, I wanted to make it sound modern and up to speed with the world around me. Okay, now here's a little bit of a message to you guys. Being a musician is by no means easy whatsoever. And even though it's probably not in the areas where I need it the most, I have done a lot of work to get to where I am today. And for most people, this is a very impressive feat for my age. I'm very proud of myself for how much I have accomplished, and I don't regret anything that I've done so far. I just really look towards the future, and I know that one day my dream of traveling around the world and going on international stages to share my music with the people that love it, it will come true eventually. But for right now, I'm just a little blue crab working hard to make it in the music industry. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my documentary. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching my story. It means a lot to me, and my heart goes out to you a ton. This documentary has taken over 8 months to perfectly craft, write, film, edit, and then finally publish for you guys to see. And I want to give a major shout out to all of my wonderful supporters from MLK MS, my wonderful support and manager, HR, my sound director, DK, and the amazing team at TVLA for the great work that they have done putting my documentary together and helping me with everything behind the scenes. You all are so amazing, and have an amazing day or night, and I bless you. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Have an amazing day or night. Goodbye. Thank you.